Welcome, everybody. It's Wednesday. Hi, it's my spooky studio time. How's everybody been doing? We've had a fantastic week. Let's see who we've got here. We've got Rob Nimmo, we've got Lito, we've got Jim, we've got Emmy, we've got Corey. Oh my goodness, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. We have such a treat for you this week. We are watching Don't Fall Asleep, the fan film about Nancy Thompson, between A Nightmare on Elm Street, basically right after, into the very beginning of A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. And to join me to do this, I am so glad that I have the director, the writer, the producer, the one who wore all the hats. You know her, you love her, you've heard her story in Fredheads, and you've definitely seen her on TikTok. It's Paige.
Hi! I'm so excited to be here and do this. Thank you for asking me to do this. It's so much fun. It's been such a long time since we've watched it, and I don't think we've ever done a live commentary on it. And so I'm really excited.
No, I think the last time we watched a fan film was The Confession of Fred Krueger on Elm Street Radio back in the day, right before we fell off.
Yeah.
Hi, Corey. Hi, Kelly. Hey, Anthony. Nice to see you. David, Nathan. Oh my goodness, Jason. We all love to see Paige, don't we? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Paige, can you see their comments?
I can. I just found out you can hit the comment side on the side. I'm old, guys. Yeah. So the technology is a little rough for me, but I just figured it out.
This whole thing here is really cool. We saw it through a couple of other friends, and we were like, "What is that?" And well, actually, we saw it when we were with Garrett. Hey, Amanda. Hey, Amanda. Nice to see you.
Hi.
Oh my goodness. Emmy came over from TikTok. Hey, Emmy. It's good to see. I always love it when you stop by. Paige is awesome. Let's give her a couple moments here of compliments. Just say the nicest thing that you can, including how great her hair looks.
Thank you. Thank you.
She could pull off any hair color, and it's she's been blonde, she's been dark, she's been red. Oh my gosh.
In this movie, I'm blonde. So
yeah,
in my cameo, it's like a 80s blonde.
You look so good as a blonde, though.
No,
you were blonde for quite some time, because
I was.
You were blonde when we first came up with the idea, and then you were blonde when we made it. And then did you dye your hair? Let's see.
I did. So I went blonde when we started, when I started my Kristen Parker cosplay, because I didn't want to, the wigs looked horrible. They looked so bad on me. And so I was like, all right, I need to really go blonde. And then afterwards, I was still cosplaying at that time. And I was like, well, the Sybil character is blonde, so I'm just going to keep it. So I kept it, but then when we were done, that's when I dyed it dark. Once we were deep into Fredheads, I was like, all right, I can't take it anymore. It's got to go back black. It's been everything.
And now you're Poison Ivy.
Yeah, it looks a little brown on camera right now, but it's very red. It's vibrant,
it's gorgeous.
Red. So thank you.
So we made Don't Fall Asleep in 2016. The very beginning, April was the first shoot that we had, and then June was the reshoots, I think. And it was all shot in Columbus. Don't Fall Asleep is the whole reason that I moved to Columbus, Ohio for 6 years, something like that. Because I loved it. And there were many times going around Columbus that I would stop by certain locations. There's one in particular that I'll talk about when we watch it, where we shot a lot of the internal mental hospital scenes that they gutted the whole thing. It was basically the front of the building, and they got rid of the rest of it, which was crazy. And then they rebuilt it. So that was very, very cool. But Paige, so how did we come up with this idea for Don't Fall Asleep? For those who don't know, what was our kind of catalyst?
So we went to the Horror Hound 2015 show, and our friend Nathan Thomas Milliner was premiering his amazing The Confession of Fred Krueger fan film. And I didn't know that you can do that. Like, I didn't know that like fans could make their own films and actually do this. And so we were watching it. It was so good. And I remember when we were done, like we were all just really blown away by how great it was and how simple it was. It wasn't like overly complicated. And I just remember looking at you and looking at like Michelle and I think Anthony was there too. And I just said to you guys, like, we need to tell Nancy's story. Like, we need to do this, but for Nancy, because if anyone's going to do it, we're going to be the ones to do it. And it was just like an idea. And then I went home and you went home. And I think I texted you guys a couple of days later and I was like, I'm not kidding. Like, I really want to do this. Here's an idea that I have. I think we need to open it up like X, Y, and Z. And then I sent it to you guys. We really liked the opening. And then you rewrote the opening. And when you rewrote the opening, that's when we were like, okay, this is what we're going to do. Like, this is how we're going to do this. And the ideas, I think it just flowed from there, like, and just writing back and forth and sending the script and stuff. And then we made this film, and it was like, I keep saying when I talk about it, it was like being kids in a candy store because it was so much fun. What about you? What was your thought when I was like, let's make a Nancy film?
I was just thinking, like, I'd never made a film before. I don't think, outside of like the little things that I made when I was a kid, I don't ever remember making a film. And just the idea, because to me, fan films have always been like these huge labors of love that in many ways to me are still part of the franchise. They might not be made by New Line or Warner Brothers or any of those big studios, but I feel that they are still part of the franchise in many, many ways. And I still go back to them constantly when I want something. And so the idea of being able to add to the franchise was just like, it was amazing. But I also was just like, yeah, oh my God, I'm so excited. But then I didn't know what to do from there. I think I remember being like, I guess maybe we'll write, like, how do you plan? How do you put all this together? And thankfully that was like your specialty, because that was nowhere in my wheelhouse. I just knew Nancy's story and had like done fan fiction, and that was about the extent of it. But thank gosh for you for, taking this on between shooting and scheduling and editing and a bulk of the writing. I mean, we all went back and we pitched things. And I remember watching the film and at the very end just being like, we need that final narration. And for those of you who don't know, our film is narrated by Heather Langenkamp herself, who plays Nancy from Beyond the Grave. And this is the first time that she has returned to the role of Nancy technically since Dream Warriors itself, which was very cool. And being Nancy from Beyond the Grave also means that, in my mind, she has been a completist of all versions of Nancy. The original Dream Warriors, yes, you can count part of Wes Craven's Your Nightmare, but it's technically Heather. We won't get into that. And then the comics, which are what we use, like that one page of the comics for this story, because it just had everything we needed, just the bullet points to craft this. So Heather, has done all versions of Nancy in existence.
I think it was important for us to be honest and true to Nancy's story. I think that we are so ingrained in the Be Nancy mantra, and we know what she has gone through, that like not a lot of people are aware that there's a canon storyline after part 3. And I think that's why it was important to incorporate those things. I know early on, like working with friends and stuff like that on scripts and stuff like that, like things that people have ideas and you get things tossed around. And I remember we filmed some stuff, and after that first initial weekend, we were like, it just doesn't feel complete. And you and I were like, we really feel like we need to put more of Nancy in this film and really put her life in there. And so we like incorporated her friends from the comic books and showed that she had a life outside of the trauma that she was in. And I I loved like the whole process of it, like the like round robin table of the script of being like, okay, what are we going to add? What do we want to take away? Like it was so much fun to do. And then, Michelle found like pretty much all the actors. Like we lucked out with that. She was a part of a theater group who,
Yeah.
like, they were all like, yes, we're on board. And it, like, each person was like cast very well. My favorite casting was Dr. Sims. Like that hotel day was so funny. And like, if you have a
Nancy
chance,
Thompson. You guys, there's a blooper reel on YouTube, and she just kept saying this, and we were just dying of laughter.
She
so
was like
funny.
acting drunk. She was like, no, and you're like drinking on the job. It was so funny. And then she was like peeling an orange sticker and like gets called out. Like it was such a fun shoot. I think it was because it's just a bunch of friends on set. And it was hard because of like time constraints and budgets, and everybody, if they're not moving, is kinking up the line so they're not like a moving part. And it was a very good learning lesson that I would do a million times over. I had so much fun.
Holy cow, Amanda. Thank you. That means a lot. We admire your boys so much. We love them. Roland and Connor, I mean, what good boys you are raising. What fun and sweet, energetic, sassy boys, I will say. I have had the best time getting razzed by Connor all at Horror Hound. I was just constantly under fire. And I was like, keep me on my toes. Keep me on my toes. And I felt like such a protectiveness over them too. I'm just like, everybody stay away. Like when we were walking to Steak and Shake or back from it, I was like, keep away, keep away. There's no way they were messing with any of us because, of course, Jim is, so huge, such a big. He's built like Jason Voorhees.
We love Jim. They came to visit us recently. They came to visit us. They stopped over for a weekend when they were in town, and the boys ran my dog crazy. Like they left, and she was like snoring so loud because they were like, and Amanda texted me. She's like, I hope we were. I was like, no, thank you. I was like, thank you that the boys they exhausted her. such a good family. We love them so much.
Such a cutie pie. Well, I think maybe it's time to watch Don't Fall Asleep for the first time in what, 6 years?
It's been a while.
All right. Well, everybody, hopefully you're comfortable. Hopefully you've got your popcorn, your drinkies, your blanket, maybe a glass of your favorite, whatever. Yes, I've got mine right here. I'm ready for it.
Water.
And we might pause a couple times throughout the movie instead of just watching it all the way through because maybe we have a little anecdote or something that we want to talk about. But yeah, this is our deep dive into Don't Fall Asleep. So
we've never done this before. Oh, the old logo.
Oh, yeah. Oh. We were one of the first people to do this.
Yes.
Yes, we were. It was like online before anybody else had done it, though. And I love that we did this homage to the films in the beginning. And then we did this. Like, this still gives me chills because it's like, it's usually somebody else, but we use Nancy just in like some of the earlier movies that it was Freddy, Oh, God,
yeah.
Here we come.
I love this. I love this scene so much. And the music, like, it's haunting and beautiful.
It's gorgeous, Lido.
Good job,
this
Lido.
is one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Didn't you throw your shoulder out here?
Yeah. And I think I bruised Anthony.
Yeah.
I remember
you being like,
no one
can tell you what goes on between the person you were and the person you become. No one can chart that lonely and fiery section of hell.
like that we chose to do this in black and white.
Yeah. Gives it a different feel.
There are no maps to guide you through the change.
Do you remember your bunny tail?
Yeah, you can kind of see it right here. There it is. Because my pants were too big. That's
You
what
either
gave me
come out the
wig,
other
weave.
Yes.
side, or you don't.
God, that intro music, and that with its own spin. I just love that beginning so much.
This is a dream. This isn't real. Clementina.
That's the whole story.
This isn't happening. I'm not here. I have to wake up. No!
You did the right thing bringing her here. We'll take good care of her.
A man broke in and murdered her mother. She thinks it was the boogie man or something.
We'll make her well again, don't you worry.
He's
Dr.
such a good
Travis is the
actor.
best. He
He
did his
was.
residency at Weston Hills, and he spent years there developing his own technique for psychotherapy.
Can I talk to her?
I love how they
She's
just
calmed down.
ignore
We'll
the
be right up.
Yeah, like like that was the plan. I was like, just don't even acknowledge her. Like,
With a little luck, she's a little more
That was my
tranquil now.
dad's,
Just not
I think,
much
shirt and
dead.
jacket from
Need
when he
help?
cosplayed as Dawn.
yeah, you're the whole costume. You were like, please don't get anything on this.
Can I go home now?
I love the
You
dynamic.
have to stay here with Dr. Travis for a while. He can help you.
Twice in one night. You break your promises. Kruger is still out there. He could be killing someone else right now, and you don't care enough to stop him.
You're confused.
I know what I saw. No.
Fred Krueger is dead and gone.
He might be dead, but he isn't gone.
Honestly, we did really good with the writing.
I know. I love this part.
Daddy, how can you do this to me? I'm not crazy. More people will die. You have to believe me.
Nancy, I love.
D, your performance here is so good. Like throughout this whole film, it's so good. Like you're
Daddy!
playing like a tragic,
Daddy!
broken Nancy,
Daddy,
and
don't. Daddy. Daddy.
like you'd never know. Like when we call cut, we're laughing and running up and down the halls. Like that's your performance.
And then kicking the ass of the owners.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
there's the
this
neighbor
part. All right. So I'm pausing here. You could see in the back, we've got that like little picture on the wall. And his pose is, of course, an homage to that picture, which is this one of Wes Craven. For anybody who was not familiar. And I
So we
just love
created a
that.
fake article for it, The Man Behind Our Dreams. And I think we just like superimposed some interviews and stuff that he had and put it up there looking at like it, that was our perfect homage to Wes. But above him on his left shoulder, you can't see it because it's cut because of the frame. His degrees are signed by Robert Englund and Heather Langenkamp.
Such a good little detail.
It's been 8 weeks, Nancy. This is only going to work if you would accept the fact that your outbursts are caused by witnessing your mother's murder.
He
This
moves the
man
coffee away.
That you've invented in your head, this Fred Krueger.
Don't say his name.
And my outfit was an homage to the outfit that
This
Heather
man
had on
is a figment of your imagination.
at like the after party
Used
of
to block
Nightmare.
out what you really saw that
It
night.
was like those two colors of pink.
Nancy, how have you been sleeping? If I don't see an
When I
improvement, you
redo
sleep
this, I'm going to
better,
completely
prescribe a
recolor
sedative.
grade it.
I mean it.
Anything else?
Yes. I wanted to talk to you about what happened in group yesterday. Your outburst was completely inappropriate.
She started it. It won't happen again.
Good. This isn't a punishment, Nancy. We're here to help you. But any lack of cooperation on your part is just going to delay your progress. You have a bright future ahead of yourself, Nancy. You're smart. Don't let this demon inside of your head get the best of you. I'm putting you on 48-hour supervision. Your mother's death wasn't your fault, Nancy. We're trying to help you, but you have to let us.
Oh, I love the way he said that line.
Someone here to see you.
He was so good. His real name is Travis. And so we named his character after him.
I'll leave you to be.
Dad, what are you doing here?
I came to see my baby girl.
You're drinking again.
See, this is where we start to introduce
How
him
long do I
getting
have to stay
drunk,
here?
Till the doctor say you're ready.
setting it up for part 3.
Nancy, just give me a hard time.
If you would just tell them what happened to her.
So what? So they can lock me up too? Get better, and we can just pretend this whole thing never happened.
Don't come see me again if you're only going to continue to hide the truth. It was nice seeing you, Dad.
I love this because this wasn't planned. You guys did this and didn't realize you were doing this at the same time. Like, it was perfect. Michelle and I were screaming behind the camera silently. We were like, holy shit.
Yeah, Dr. Travis often mumbles that she's asleep on the job.
Taylor!
Anyway, what's your name?
Aren't you supposed to be on room restrictions?
Well, I was released this morning.
He's a
Who's
bad
this?
boy.
This is my daughter, Alice. Alice, this is Joel. Don't ever be like him. Don't forget we have to pick up Rick from karate practice.
Oh,
Don't let Dr. Travis catch you out of your room. We're gonna be late again. I know.
We should pause here and we should tell what we were going to really do with Alice.
yes.
So here's the original idea of what we were going to do with Alice, but we completely ran out of time. So as they were walking past, Nancy was going to come out of the room and they were going to cross paths, and we were going to give Alice and Nancy a moment to finally just have like a moment together. But we just had so much to film that we're like, we can't film that. So we couldn't cut it. But I love that we were able to incorporate Alice's storyline into here.
Yeah.
It's like a little nod.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's like the only time outside of the comics that we get them together. It's always like, I like to think that it's like they came close to meeting, but they never got the chance. Oh, thank you, Cody. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, Jason called it out. He's the one moderating the comments. He is the Captain Sassy. Lito is having a lot of really great insight into how he made the score in the comments. So make sure that you check those out. And then I think on the instant replay, they will be there as well, so you can read them.
Lito scored this. We told him to just score it. We said, wherever you think there needs to be music. We had a couple notes here and there, but we just said, have free reign. Like, you know, film, do it. And so we were like, we want an opening theme. We want a theme here, but anywhere else, you just do it. So every piece that you hear in here, the placement, where it is, like that's Lito's genius.
Yeah, it was completely up to him. And of course, we trusted him because he knows Elm Street extremely well, and he's just amazing at what he does. If you also didn't know, he's involved with Never Sleep Again, the definitive documentary. Lito has done a lot in the world of A Nightmare on Elm Street. He's played Freddy for Warner Brothers, a bunch of things. So we love you, Lito. All right, let's get back to this. Oh, I do want to point out too that Chad here, on the back of his head, you'll notice there is a gray spot. That's just his hair in there. And he says he can't dye it, which we were like, oh, that makes such great explanation for why we say that, you know, Nancy's hair streaks flip sides between part 1 and part 3, because she just couldn't dye the one side of her hair from being gray. So she's got 2 streaks, but the one was stubborn. So anyhow, all right, here we go.
Oh, Nurse Johnson.
Yes?
Oh, nothing. Have a good day.
You too.
So this is the building that was just the front that they totally did away with. I love the way that this is shot. That's High Street in the short north
There
in
she
Columbus, down
is.
below.
Hi.
I love this whole
How's it going?
conversation. You both like are amazing in this.
You guess? Your dad came to visit. That's good, right?
Maybe.
Come on, I'm like the only person you can talk to in here. What happened?
He's drinking again.
So?
So I feel like it's all my fault. Like, I'm a burden to him now.
You're not the burden. He is. Just try to forget about him.
I lost my friends. I lost my mother. I lost my freedom. I don't want to lose him too. I'm all alone.
You're not alone. You have me.
Why would my dad put me here?
Probably because it's cheap. I mean, look around. We're not at the Ritz-Carlton. Like, when I first came here 2 years ago, it was packed. Now it's just the four of us, Dr. Travis and Nurse Johnson.
I love his disdain for her.
Weston Hills.
He doesn't like her at all.
Yeah, it's between here and Springwood.
Yeah, so I was going through Dr. Travis's office to find my file, and I found some bankruptcy statements on his desk. He can barely afford his place. And then I heard Dr. Travis and Nurse Johnson talking. It's only a matter of time before Weston Hills puts this place out of business. It's bigger and nicer.
See, this is where we start to talk about, okay, so Weston Hills is in Springwood. Like, why is, Nancy not constantly having dreams about Freddie, things like that? It's because she's connected to Springwood. So he's able to have some connection to her. But at the same time, she's still outside of Springwood. So he can't leave and completely and haunt her dreams. But there's still like a little bit of that. So we went deep, you guys. We were not messing around.
I'll still be here long after they do.
No, you'll be released one day. I could even see you working in a place like this.
Ugh, I'd rather die.
It can happen. But I did find something to cheer you up.
Oh no, not drugs.
Hypnocil. You broke into the dispensary.
Well, that would imply that I actually broke something. The staff here should really mind their keys.
Why are you being so nice to me?
Because I'm a nice guy. And I found your file. Bad dreams, huh?
Something like that. But I'm not crazy, you know.
And I'm not a delinquent. I just have a problem with authority. But you should be careful with those pills.
I can handle some pills.
All right.
Thank you.
Anytime.
I just love like the lighting, like everything about this shot. Oh, I love this.
Oh yeah.
I remember Michelle was like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I was like, let me edit it. I was like, you'll get it when I edit it. And she was like, oh yeah, fuck yeah.
Oh yeah, this part was so cool. I forgot about this part. And that's the thing, it's not like fantastical like the rest of the Nightmare. Like, this is a gritty movie on purpose. It's definitely a different kind of movie. Yeah, oh my gosh. Just that little hint. This was such a perfect location.
It was like a youth center.
Yeah. I think it was an LGBTQIA youth center. Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, this
That was
can't be
amazing.
happening.
So the lighting in this.
Yeah.
Paige, you remember this better than I do. I just remember that we were supposed to have lights and then we didn't. So we had to use everything at our disposal to figure it out.
Which was like, it was such a shame. So we got there and they'd had no power running to the boiler room. and we said to the security guard, like, this is our main scene. Like, we need power. We need to be able to like plug in our lighting systems and all that stuff, because we were going to light it like how they did in the original film. This boiler room looked like we were in Lincoln Heights. Like, it looked like we were on the set of A Nightmare on Elm Street. And so the security guard didn't know how to turn the power on, and we couldn't get a hold of our liaison. And so we had to roll. We were on a tight schedule. So it was me and Kim. So we took 2 extension cords and like 2 or 3 of our lights, and we like ran them as much as we could and shone them in certain areas. And so like here on screen, this is a cell phone light. So we had like cell phones illuminating. We had people hiding in places, trying to just light it up as much as we could. And it really sucks because that was the whole thing we booked that place for, was for that boiler room. But it's dark and it's gritty and it's a fan film, and it's like lesson learned, you know. It's a hard pill to swallow, but if you guys could have really seen what these boiler rooms looked like, they were. Yeah. There's a glimpse of them later on in the film when Chad is, or Joel, his character is Joel, when Joel is like in his dream. There's a glimpse of it because the way that it's lit, you can see it. But in these scenes, it was going to be more powerful and impactful if you could have seen their faces.
Yeah. Yeah, it was gorgeous. I have a picture that I'll show later, kind of our behind the scenes when we were location scouting. And there's some of the lighting in this just looks really cool, how like dim it is. And I guess you could explain it away and be like, you know, Nancy technically kind of defeated Freddy at the end in her own way. So the boiler isn't totally lit up, whatever. But there is some really cool lighting. But yeah, this was one of those things that we were just so upset about. And I feel like it was a simple fix that they could have told us about. And they just didn't when it came down to it. And we were just so mad. We were so mad. But anywho, here is their reunion after the events of the first film. And he's part 2 Freddy now, by the way, because he's also kind of about to go in to deal with Jesse. So he's already transformed. He's already got stripes on the sleeves.
I took away your power. You can't be here!
Nancy.
The only time Nancy takes some calls.
Yeah, because we're trying to make sure that she's like losing herself.
Such a bitch.
We need to clear the air from Tuesday's meeting. Nancy,
I love this.
First?
She should be the only one apologizing.
Therese, we've discussed this.
Why don't we just drop it? It's over.
Because this is not the way we do things, and you're not running the group.
We don't know what Nancy went through before she got here. We don't know what any of us went through before we got here. Marshall wets himself. He's so claustrophobic.
That happened one time.
He's got Randy Meeks energy.
Yes.
Therese attacked her. Nancy had every right to defend herself.
I didn't attack her.
Okay, you went off on her. Whatever.
I know where she's from. I know that town. My parents lived there. They told me what happened.
What happened?
Marshall.
What? I want to hear it.
My brother was killed by that guy she said is after her. But he can't be after her. He's dead.
Who is this guy?
He was the Springwood Slasher. He killed my brother before I was born. My parents moved before the trial and they started a new life. That's what they told me.
How did he die?
Her parents, all the parents, they burned him alive.
Burned him? Burned who?
Fred Krueger.
Don't say his name.
I can say his name. It's not going to bring him back, and no one can die in their dreams.
Okay.
Oh, don't think I haven't heard your ramblings and even read your diary. You are a psycho. I have fallen hundreds of feet in my dreams, and I just land right in another one. No one dies in their dreams.
Okay, you want to talk about crazy talk? Let's talk about why you're here.
Oh, shut up,
No,
Joel.
she deserves to know. Why don't you tell her? If you don't, I will.
Joel, that's enough.
Fine. I'm here because I put my parents in a coma.
There's where Chad,
Kept
like,
me a prisoner in that
every
house. They
take
never
he
let me go
laughs.
out. They didn't want what happened to my brother to happen to me. wanted to go out. I wanted to have a life. One day I was asked out on a date, a real date. And I wanted to go. So I did what I had to do.
What did you do?
I drugged their dinner.
Her dad still hasn't woken up yet. What's it been, 11 months?
I said that's enough, Joe. Regardless of the reason that we're here, we are all after the same thing, and that is to get better. You all have productive lives ahead of you. You're smart, all of you, but this constant bickering is not helping. It's only going to hold you back. Now, Therese, Nancy, is it safe to say that we can start over? And no more talk about this Fred Krueger?
That was the hardest scene to edit, and I didn't understand it. Michelle wrote that, and I didn't get it until it was done
still
being
comes to
edited,
me as I
and
sleep,
now it's one of my favorites.
taunting me, stalking me. I don't think his
You
strength
wanted
is
to
what it
tie
once
into the
was.
fact that Nancy had a journal in part 2.
Oh yeah, I love this. This
I
is I
fear
love
he is
this one so
only
much.
getting stronger.
The red journal.
Glenn told me if I turned my back on him, it would take away his power. But what if he has found another way to gain strength? Everyone here thinks I'm insane, but I'm not. I know that unless I play their game, I'm never going to get out of here. I'm all I have now, and I'm not going to die in this place.
I remember that line of dialogue took a couple weeks for you and I to punch out because we were trying to figure out the like perfect way for Nancy to have a voiceover without it like being cheesy.
Yeah. Not the red and green pills. Jim. Hi, Gustavo.
Oh. Who was that?
Girl, he's not a fake thing, anymore. But thank God Nancy's a bigger person.
Nancy, what is going on?
Wait, your hypnosil didn't work.
I snooped through your stuff.
Maybe it just takes a few doses before it works.
He knows I'm here.
Who? Who knows you're here?
Fred Krueger. I didn't think he was strong enough to kill me. Fear is what gives him his energy. But he hasn't regained his full energy yet.
This was a hard
I don't know how
line
he's
for me. I didn't know
accessing my
what the hell to do.
If you hadn't woken me,
I heard screaming, and Nurse Johnson was asleep, so I just snuck in, and you were struggling, so...
maybe because you know him and your parents know
Nancy,
him.
this is ridiculous. Your dreams can't kill you.
No. They can sure as hell hurt you. If you didn't believe me, why did you give me the hypnosil?
I want to believe you.
It was important for us to show Nancy taking back her power in this moment because everything up until now, she hasn't been Nancy. And so now it's like she's taking her Nancy. And I think it was hard for you because it didn't feel authentic to what you were saying. And so do you remember we changed it right then and there on set?
Yeah.
I was like, say what is comfortable for you. Like say what you want to say in this. And you did, and that's what came out from it.
Yeah, I just remember having such a hard time. Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
All these drinks. With our little special medicine in them.
Literally don't drink the Kool-Aid at a mental institution.
It's kind of like we're not in Springwood, but there's a little bit of Freddy versus Jason in there where it's kind of like if you know him,
Fine.
he can kind of reach
I
you.
tripped my nails. It
in a
won't
way.
happen again.
Nancy,
Well,
how are
technically he
your
can
dreams?
reach you.
Great. Never better.
You're no longer seeing him.
Nope.
And it's like it took him a little while to find her. And so now that he's found
I
her,
see.
he's not going to let her go.
It has been brought to my attention that the three of you are growing close. Normally, I would say that this was remarkable progress given your altercation. But something tells me that this alliance isn't conducive to your treatment. Would one of you like to tell me what's going on?
Nothing, Doc. They called a truce. That's it. I saw it.
Joel, just tell him the truth. He's gonna find out eventually.
Find out what?
He's real.
Thank you.
The man in her dreams, Freddy Krueger. He's real.
Thank you, Therese, for your honesty. I am concerned that your hysteria is starting to cause the other patients to share your hallucinations.
Not everyone sees him.
No, not everyone.
Teacher's pet.
I have decided to try something different today. All of you, including myself, have been given a sedative. That will
What? You can't make us sleep. You can't make us dream. He'll kill us. He'll kill all of us.
This is for everyone's good. Just to prove that what you are seeing is impossible.
Oh, I love this part.
Mm-hmm.
Don't fall asleep.
I love that you're hearing the like Dream Warriors-y music in the background, the boom, boom, boom. Like when Nancy's like driving.
Yeah. Oh, I love that warp. I love that so much. Since this was on like a busy street, I remember we put a sign on the outside door that was like, filming in progress. Please don't be alarmed by the screaming. But we still had somebody outside that was like, yeah, we're filming something. It's a horror movie. Someone's screaming. It's okay. Because people still kept stopping and they were very concerned about what was going on.
Her scream was so loud and powerful. We filmed the first portion on a 25,000 square foot soundstage, and you could hear her all the way across the other sound stages through walls and stuff. It was powerful.
Piercing scream, piercing. Now we get a little bit more lighting of the area.
And Bill's knife went through her cut plate and nicked her. That's how hard he hit her.
Too late, Nancy. Bye.
She's like, nope, I'm out of here.
Oh, this was great.
This was all one shot.
He's real. Come on, we have to wake up before he gets to anyone else.
Therese? Nancy? Joel? Where are you guys? You're the one that Nancy's afraid of.
I remember watching you guys film this in that little nook.
I'm just really glad in the past 7 years we've learned 3-point lighting. Because
Oh my gosh.
different location.
Get out of here! Get out of here before he comes back!
our rationale was this was downstairs and then this was the upstairs.
Oh, we need to go now.
But they totally didn't match.
No, Nancy, we need to go.
That's how Alice lost her mom.
Come on.
This was originally supposed to be Tuesday night. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was.
Hello? We're sending a car over.
But Warner Brothers would not let her do it.
Nancy, can your dad cover this up?
I love that. Nancy, can your dad cover this up? Can he cover this up?
Yeah.
This is my favorite of, well, second favorite. This one right here.
In the 5 years that passed, all things were relatively quiet. I was studying advanced dream therapy in college, meeting new friends outside of Springwood, ones who helped distract me.
I lost 100 pounds since then.
And I want to say, guys, this particular picture is a direct homage to that little clip in the comics that Nancy had taken with Priscilla and Sybil. And we did such a good job recreating it.
I
my God, I
loved
love
the
it.
nod. I love it so much.
It was great.
I still have this picture framed. And this was the start of Fredheads. Like this. Like the three, like, I love this.
Joel and I found a way to survive and move past what happened to us. My father pulled some strings and covered up what really happened. Whatever he did, it cost him his job and our relationship. Freddie seemed to be a thing of the past, but somewhere deep down, I knew he would resurface.
So this is 6 months before Dream Warriors. This takes place 6 months before Dream Warriors.
You still doing up?
I'm reading a new study. A doctor in
I
California
have that
believes
shirt,
his
his
patients are
AC/DC
tapping
shirt in
into
my closet.
In a tranquil state, they can learn to unlock more than 10% of their brain. Through dream therapy and hypnotism, they can learn to use their strength to combat night terrors, frequently referred to as dream demons. Dr. Lee believes that in the greatest dreams, the dreamer has the power to be anything. Do you think this means that people have powers in their dreams?
I don't know, but if it does, I can be Superman and you can be Lois Lane.
So what a lot of people don't know is the doc that
I don't know,
she's
this
talking
dream stuff is
about.
your territory.
We were intending it to be the doc in part 6. That like she's like, this doctor, he's doing this dream research, and so he's never named in the film. So we gave him the name Dr. Lee after Lee Howard, our good buddy Lee Howard.
We love Lee.
Are you gonna stay the night? Good, and I was beginning to think that you were dating the librarian. Well, do that thing tomorrow morning. So shouldn't you go to sleep?
I don't have class till 7:45 and I want to finish this chapter.
Okay, just hit the light when you're done.
Sure.
School first, ladies.
Nancy uses her brain.
The geese,
Yes.
the ducks, or whatever it was, were just not
This is really
shut
beautiful.
up.
I can see why you brought me here today.
It's the place I feel most at peace. I have something I want to give to you.
Booby traps and anti-personnel devices. You shouldn't have.
It's a symbol of me letting go of my past. I feel safe with you.
Not for long, Waterford.
It's perfect. No, Alito, I like your commentary. That was one of our theories too, Corey.
Yeah, that was one of our theories.
Hey, it's me. I need more pills.
I gave you enough to last 3 months. How many of these do you take?
Yes, please, I need these.
Let me make a few calls. These aren't easy to get.
No, I know. I'll pay double. I really need these pills.
I know. Your dreams and all that. I'll give you a call tomorrow.
Shit.
Our party.
Damn rain. Always with your nose in a book.
Come on, Nancy. This party's for you.
You guys will come up with any excuse to party.
Getting into grad school is an amazing thing. You should be proud.
I mean, is this really the last time the three of us are going to be all together?
No, Sybil, we're always going to stay in contact. Even though you're going to go off and be the next Barbara Walters, I'll be in Paris studying fashion. And Nancy, she's going to marry Joel and have a million babies.
Oh, Priscilla, come on. You know that's not going to happen. She's going to be stuck in some lab studying people's brains.
A girl can dream, can't she? That boy's just too damn cute, and he worships her.
Got Paige's family in it.
My cousin and my niece.
I've been reading theories on pattern nightmares, how in a tranquil state we can connect with each other.
Oh, like the Twilight Zone?
Not exactly. Have you ever felt...
I think I couldn't remember, but I'm almost positive at some point at the end of the first like half of it, we put 2 streaks in my hair. I'm pretty sure. So here you could see that it's flipped to the opposite side.
Yeah, we did.
We're going to explain that. Yeah. Thank you, Lito. I tried to give a nod to everything that I knew about Nancy's evolution in fashion.
so connected to someone?
That was Michelle's garage, Anthony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like that. Mentally, you're connected. The theory is that in an unconscious state, we can connect with other unconscious individuals.
I love
You know,
this.
they say we only use 10% of our brain. Can you imagine what would happen if we unlocked the other 90%?
Just promise me when you become famous, you call me and let me style you.
Oh, by then, you'll be out of my price range. I can't believe you're moving to Paris.
You guys will always have a place to stay when you come visit me. You guys have been the best roommates I could have ever asked for.
Hey, sorry I'm late, as usual.
Everything okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Oh, I love this.
I'm gonna grab another drink. I'm gonna follow you.
We looked
How are
so
you?
long for one of these, and I finally was like,
Look
I'm
at
just
you.
gonna have to make it.
What's the occasion? Can't be.
You did such a good
Yes.
job.
No. My paper caught the attention of a doctor at Weston Hills, Dr. Sims, and I have an interview with her later today.
Weston Hills? The Weston Hills?
I know what I'm doing. I will be fine.
Oh.
Who'd have ever thought my theories on pattern nightmares would amount to anything?
Well, you got the scars to prove it. That won't work?
Not on the right side.
Well, I got you a congratulations gift. It's a Malaysian gringo.
Oh, Joel, it's beautiful. Why?
I thought you could use the extra protection. I thought all this research might
That's where it
dredge
came
up
from.
memories of him.
No. Fear is what made him strong. Without that, he's nothing. And all I have to do is just take one little pill and never have to worry about it again.
Yeah, sure.
You okay? You're not out of pills, are you? I can spare some.
No, I'm fine. I have plenty. You save yours. You only get so many a month.
Anthony says Kim always reminds me of Kelly Kapowski here.
If you're leaving already,
I'm sorry.
But we just got started.
I know, I'm gonna be late. Thank you both so much for the party.
call me later. Good luck today.
I made the shoes match the pearl
Yes.
necklace.
Yeah, good luck. It'd be nuts not to have you.
I like that we kind of show the life Nancy could have almost had.
This little piece right there was, yeah, like everything. It could have been normal, but honestly, her choice was always for the kids. It was always to fight Freddy. That was her life battle. And it's just like all of this, there's like that hint, but at the same time, like you just know what she had to do. It makes total sense. And this little ring box here was something that I had from a jewelry store in Ohio that I ended up looking up to make sure that it was around in the 80s, and it was. So I think this was my mom's ring box from something else, not her engagement ring, but it was from a local jewelry place that existed throughout Ohio in the 80s. So that was my little detail of putting that into this.
You get to pick out the ring too. Oh, I love this. This is in Columbus. It literally looks like Weston Hills.
Yeah, it's right down the street from where Michelle lives now.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Milliner's been telling me a great deal about you, Miss Thompson, and I can see
Dr.
why.
Milliner?
Your research is compelling. I've never seen anything like it.
Thank you, Doctor. My professor is too kind, but I couldn't have done any of this without his guidance.
He tells me quite the contrary. He insists that you've taken the initiative to do all you can to be thorough, and it comes through in your work. An undergraduate student on the verge of having her work published in the Springwood Journal of Medicine is impressive. That's why he brought your name to me. We could use your perspective.
I love the score
Would you
that's
mind
about to
telling
hit.
me more about the program?
You would be assisting our head psychiatrist, Dr. Neil Gordon. He is currently working with 5 or 6 patients who are
I got
suffering
chills.
from pattern nightmares involving a fictitious entity who taunts them.
Fictitious.
Yes, and they've let this ridiculous notion consume them, and their firm denial is stopping any progress.
Have they been known to self-harm?
Frequently, and that they insist that they aren't the ones doing it, and blame everything on the entity. That's where you would come in. They resist any of our treatments.
Nancy
but
knows.
If they had somebody younger, then maybe they'd be more open to them.
Oh,
Nancy,
Lita.
your research is excellent. Your paper will change the future of dream psychology. Studying these cases here would be a great opportunity for future exploration, and accepting the position here would be a great asset to your career. Who knows? It could even open up a permanent position.
Thank you, Doctor. Everything you've been saying is very encouraging. However, with starting graduate school in the fall, I'm not sure this is the right move for me right now.
We would be willing to work with any of your schedules.
I would like time to think it over.
Of course. The program doesn't start for a few months. Take your time, do your research, and get back to me with your decision.
Thank you, Dr. Sims. Thank you for your time. I will be in touch.
What were we watching? One of the Evil Dead movie? What
Yes.
was it?
Evil
Yes.
Dead 2.
Yes, we were watching Evil Dead 2 to pay homage to, of course, the first movie. I
We
couldn't
timed
remember.
it out too. What's the timeline? Well, it's on the thing. I think it's right there. I think I can see it behind him. I think it says Evil Dead 2.
Yes, it does. I forgot that you put that there.
Boy.
You okay?
Yeah. When did you get here?
So magical and happy to all the screaming.
How'd the interview go?
Really great. They really seem to want me there.
I bet they do.
I love the boiler room. How good it looks, though.
I'm gonna get some coffee. You want some?
I would love a cup.
She wasn't even home. He's been sleeping the whole time. And in this part too, I have the watch that I wore for my Nightmare 3 cosplay. That was the same kind of watch that she wears in Nightmare 3. Hey, listen, you got to have the details once you get to a certain part in Nancy's life.
Piggy.
What do you want?
This was during the reshoot.
Send her a message.
I remember that
Send
now.
Who a message?
Joel! Joel, wake up! Joel, wake up!
Nancy.
Bill
Joel,
does
wake
such a
up,
good Freddy.
please. Joel, you can't do this, please! You need to wake up, Joel! Wake up! Please, please, wake up! Please! Please, Joel! You need to wake up! Now! Joel, wake up!
She'll stop you. She'll find a way.
No. When you're dead, I'll have broken her. And that's all the way I want it. It's just the way that bitch should be.
Please! Joel!
Yeah.
won't let him win. I won't let him win.
Joel has to die so she could become who she's meant to be.
I promise.
This
Oh
is
God,
all
here it
deep.
comes. With the music in the background.
May I speak with Dr. Sims? Dr. Sims, please! Dr. Sims, this is Nancy. I accept.
Love it.
I love it. I remember when you were like, because the original ending, we were going to have you come on and be from part 3, where Kristen's there crying, and we shot all that. But you were like, no, I have an idea. Let's do this. And I was like, okay, when we did that, we're like, no, this is the end. Like, this is the ending of this film.
Yay! Yeah, I sending Anthony. I remember you saying that was like your favorite part or something like that. Thank you guys.
I love this part right here.
Yeah, this part's my favorite. We had to put this in. This is our nice little wrap up.
Kristen? Death changes you. Whether it's the death of those you love, or even your own. I now know that as long as Kruger lives, I will never rest. I'm the light to his dark. And though I may have physically passed, my spirit lives on to keep the dreams alive and win this war. My real fight is only just beginning.
I love it.
So yeah,
That was Don't Fall Asleep.
That's Don't Fall Asleep, you guys. I'm gonna just keep that going. Yeah, I just love that ending part that we included. No, Nancy was not wearing the blazer when she died. She was completely in just the pink sweatshirt. She had lost the blazer and the pearl necklace when they had gone into that part of the dream. Oh my gosh.
So good.
Yeah. We wanted to do we got every version of Nancy, and I feel like you and I are always like, she didn't die forever, and we just had to put that in here so that people knew what was going on. But yeah, that's it.
Did you have to like spray paint your hair to get it white?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't have any hairspray left for cosplay, so I think I used paint from the garage, like spray
you
paint.
committed.
My mom. Yeah, it took forever to get that out. Yeah, we love this. We have a music video too on the Venn Pictures YouTube channel.
Yeah.
That is with Nancy and that song.
That was a fun day too. The music video was really fun because we shot outside like an old mental facility that was like abandoned or something, and it was gated off, so it looked like you were like screaming, like you were trapped outside of like Weston Hills. That was really fun. This whole project was so much fun.
Yeah, we did so much for this. Absolutely loved it. Oh yeah, Jersey. That's right. That was the name of the dog. And then my dad, I think it may have already popped up, but we asked him what he wanted to be credited as, and he said just Dave. So we put that in the credits of just Dave.
I was gonna say, where's it at in there? It's got to be in there.
Yeah.
So many
Where the heck
people, all
was
these
it?
names.
Oh my God. Some people that I haven't even like thought of in a hot second. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Everything we do is for Wes.
Yeah. Now there it is.
I think I have the stapler. Do I have the stapler here?
Oh my goodness. So yeah, guys, that's Don't Fall Asleep. Hopefully you enjoyed it. There were definitely some moments in it afterward. I was like, oh God, Diandra, why did you make that choice? Why did you do that? And especially in the beginning, I'm not a seasoned actor, so I could just tell when I'd get like distracted and just go with my eyes. It bothers me so much. And I remember coming back to filming and looking at that and being like, all right, just look at the person, just look at them. Don't look at anything else. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Bookie. So totally appreciate you guys watching this. So now I guess, Paige, what do you think after all this time?
Man, I still like it for our first film, but I feel like I've learned so much. I just want to re-edit this now, and like I want to re-edit it, make it look how beautiful it should be. I love it. I love what we did. I love the story that we told, and it was so much fun.
I really do love this story still. I love where we went with this, how we told it. I just get so excited to tell people about it all the time. And because I love it and I know that it's a labor of love, and we know Nancy so well that I think we did such a good job. And thankfully we all had a pretty similar idea of how this would go, and we didn't really have any sort of like back and forth with each other of fighting. I know that there were a couple of things that we had, like for me, one of the things that I remember being stuck on was the idea of Joel. Like, why does Nancy need a love story? Why do we need to do that? Especially because Neil in part 3, it just seems like she's like almost like slow to get into a relationship, but it just felt so soon after, what would be the death of her then boyfriend, to then go and suddenly be in a relationship with Neil. But, maybe Neil was like the healing person that she needed to pull herself out of that grief. I don't know. They were together for so long. So who knows?
I think I didn't really want to focus on other characters when we initially started writing this.
Yeah.
I essentially wanted it to just be Dr. Travis and Nancy, and they're like one-on-ones. And I wanted to delve like more psychological into it. But then we realized like we have to have Freddie. There has to be an element of him in there. We have to have some of the death. We have to have some of the murders. And so that's what we brought on, this like group idea of like kind of bringing in this like small group of characters. Originally, I think there were a couple more, and we condensed it down to just the core cast that is there. And our thought with Nancy and Joel is that she couldn't count on anybody in the first film, and this person just loves her, but it's like clear that she doesn't, like she loves herself as well. Like she wants to like move forward. She's not going to let anybody get in her way. And I think that we tried to write it as they were together because they were all they had after they left. And like nobody was going to believe them. It was the two of them against the world. And so when he gets stripped away from her, it brings Nancy down to, I have to stop Freddie. Like this is what I have to do. And so when I watch Dream Warriors now, I look at it almost like Neil annoys her. Like she's like, I'm not here for this. I'm like,
oh, me too.
Like I'm not here for this. I'm here for them. Or even when he's like waxing on at the window as it's raining, and he's like doing all this stuff, and she's like this. She's like, well, maybe you're ready for the like, like enough. Like she's like, enough of it already. So I liked, in the end, I liked the fact that we gave her a boyfriend, a companion.
That's very insightful. Thank you for that. It's changed my mind a little bit, but I remember being like so against it. I was like, I'm going to do this, but at the same time, I'm like, oh God, I don't know. But we had our premiere at, let's see, what was it? Days of the Dead, Louisville, 2016. Yeah. Thank you, Gustavo. I totally like, there are so many great Nightmare fan films out there. There's tons that I want to like watch for the first time. I remember we took this photo. That was the whole room before. Over there's the horse.
Yeah.
Bofa these nuts. That's his name. Here was us before the screening. We were so excited. we were, and Michelle's got the shirt that I have on now, which was the What Would Nancy Do shirt that Heather designed. And man, I mean,
It was
our
so
whole
long
cast was
ago.
there. It was, oh my God, I cannot believe it. This was I did this little transition. This was the top page picture is when we were looking around. Paige is up front, Michelle, and then Taylor, and then in the middle of filming, and then the final shot. And this right here is revisiting the beautiful dream. It's outside of my parents' house in the field next door, which I think
And all
they
those sounds,
yeah.
they're
Go
all
ahead.
from the field. All the sounds are from the field. None of that was special
Yeah.
effects. All the birds, all the buzzings. We were like, this is perfect.
Oh, I remember it was Kim came and my dad was there to help. And I think Kim and my dad were manning the camera. And my dad kept making jokes. I mean, I was like, Dad, come on, man. Like we've got to get this done. What are you doing?
I love
But
it.
yeah, it was just the two of them. And I'm so glad that because we were nervous. We were like, I hope we get the shots that Paige wants. Like, I don't know. Like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. We got to do a good job. It's just us.
It was
But
perfect. It was perfect.
Good. Are there any Q&A from the viewers? Anybody have anything you'd like to ask us? Thank you, Venom. It would be cool if we could do something where Nancy and Alice team up and kind of bring those innovation comics to life. I would love that. Love that, Rob. Thank you. Yeah, we had to give credit to Andy, who, of course, created the innovation comics story that we used in this and has been so integral for anybody who doesn't know. These are the Nightmares on Elm Street from 1991 to 1992 innovation publishing comics that go through the whole story. They are canon because they were commissioned by New Line Cinema. And it's just basically, that story of Nancy kind of in between. It follows, I think it's Sybil is the main character in it, the brunette. And yeah, we got so much information from that. And then that's where Alice and Nancy kind of come face to face in that, plus some weird ending with Neil and Dan switching souls. I don't know, it's just so weird, but whatever. Thank you. We put a lot of thought into those little details. I don't think any stone went unturned. Paige, if you could have done something differently in Don't Fall Asleep, what would you do differently?
So there is a scene that I wish we could have kept in, but then we wouldn't have been able to do the Friends cameo with me as it. I really wanted to keep Nancy speaking with her professor. There's a scene that I wrote where Nancy is sitting in the gallery of one of her classes and everybody's leaving and she's kind of packing up her stuff. And the professor turns to her and says something like, I hope you thought more about that internship that I've been talking about with you. And you guys, Nancy and the professor talk a little bit. And then Nancy says to the professor, what if monsters are real? Like, what if they're not just in your dreams and in fairy tales? And there's a whole interaction where the professor tells Nancy to start thinking of utilizing their dreams. So it was a beautiful scene that showed her life, but we just couldn't do it. And what we were able to do, I just felt like wasn't good enough because we filmed it in just a random room on set and it was really fast and really rushed. I wanted it to be a big scale theme. I wanted to see this vision of Nancy walking down these steps to talking to her professor with all her stuff. And that's the one thing I would change. But other than that, I love the story that we wrote. I'm really proud of it. We were talking about doing some stuff with the Nightmare House of where Nancy walked into certain rooms and she'd be in the living room of 4213 or no, that's 4228. 4213 is my script I'm writing right now. But so 1428, so there were some of those themes, but I like what we did, just keeping it all centralized in that location. What would you have changed?
I feel like everything that I don't know what I would have changed. As far as the story goes, I feel like it was a pretty perfect story for us. I feel like everything that I would have wanted to change as well, we ended up kind of already changing when we ended up coming back for the reshoots. Because I remember instead of like the Nancy Joel, I can't even remember what it was, like the party scene and stuff like that. We came back and shot that in June. And that whatever we had before in the park just was not working. And some other stuff just didn't feel complete. So I'm glad that we came back to do those additional shoots and add on that scene at the very end. Because if we didn't have that scene, my thought would have been, I wish we would have had something to wrap up Nancy's voiceover and then also give a nod to the beautiful dream. But we did all that. So I honestly can't think of anything else, but I do remember the scene that you're talking about with the teacher. That was a good, that was a really good point.
I liked it. I did like the micro nap scene that we filmed with Joel, where like he sees Nancy walking and then he like blinks and she's in a Freddy sweater. I remember I didn't remember that until just now when you were like talking about the park thing, like the original scene.
Maybe
that's what
was
it was.
That's
yeah,
what it was.
I liked that, but we could, from what I remember, like we couldn't get it to work. Like there were like a bunch of kids in the background and the wind was blowing. We couldn't get the mics clean enough. And it just wasn't, the geese were still like quacking. Like it was, and so we were like, okay, we did it. And then when we went back to edit, it was like, it was really clear when we were editing, like, no, we need to do some pickup shots, just like at least like another day or two. I think even at one point, I'm remembering now talking about this, even at one point, like Dr. Sims's wig is like falling back in a shot. And I was like, why did nobody see this? Like on the camera, like while we were standing there, we were just so exhausted. We had shot like 12-hour days, 2 back-to-back, like 12-hour days. And then you guys, like I had a room that like I booked and I had like booked it until like Monday. And you guys like all for some reason decided to go back home that
I had
Sunday
to do
night.
work the next day. It wasn't, I should have never done that.
I felt so bad for you guys. I was like, if anyone wants to like stay in my room, I have an extra bed. Like I stay in my room. And you guys were all like, no, we have to go to work. I was like, damn. Like
I didn't have much PTO and I wanted to save as much as I possibly could. Oh man, that was a mistake though. I almost died at the wheel. I almost pulled a Dan. Did we ever think about adding in the events of part 2 like this, like a news report in the background or something?
Yeah. So originally we were going to have Jesse in this. And so the original reason why we booked the sound stage is because it had the boiler room, but it also had a section that looked like the inside of Weston Hills. It was painted like the same colors. It had like the same water fountains. It looked like that scene where Dr. Sims and Gordon are walking out of the elevator into Kristen's room. It looked like that corridor, that hallway. And so we thought, okay, we're gonna build this conversation with Dr. Sims and Nancy in this area. And so originally Nancy was going to come in and check in Weston Hills. And while she was checking in Weston Hills, in the background, you'd see a kid in a yellow shirt with like black crosses on it with his like 2 parents like checking in. And that was going to be like our little homage to Jesse. Because we feel like, some of us in the fandom feel like in part 3, when he says, you know, we lost a kid to Fairview a couple months back, he took a razor blade to his own eyelids. A lot of us feel like that could be Jesse. And so originally the thought was, let's make it Jesse. Let's make him, that's the kid who's getting checked in and gets taken away. And I reached out to Mark Patton and kind of said, hey, like, this is the idea that we have. Like, I just want to make sure that like, you approve it. Like, we don't want to like do this because you own that character. You own the character of Jesse. And he said that he wished that we don't do it and that he has his own story for Jesse. And out of respect for him, we took Jesse out of it, out of respect for him. But that was the original plan. So originally Jesse was going to be in it.
Bookie asks, how many versions of the script were there and did it all make the final product? No, I think we maybe like 3 or 4 maybe versions of the script. I really can't remember too much, but I feel like we cut out some, but I feel like it was a pretty smooth process. Really.
It was. we had some scenes with Marge. We had some dream scenes where
yeah.
Nancy was in the living room and you hear Marge's voice, saying locked, locked, locked. But other than like a few of those little things here and there, everything pretty much made it in. We were round robining that script for a couple months, and it was like ever evolving. And when we finally got the real draft of what we were going to shoot, we filmed it like it just was like boom, 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 like, and we used as much as we could because we couldn't waste anything because we didn't have a whole lot of time there. Oh, I just remembered. Do you remember Travis's original death scene that we couldn't shoot?
No.
Where he turns into Freddy?
No, I don't remember that.
Ah, so we couldn't shoot this. We were at the youth center and he was going to come in. You're like, I have to go grab my diary. I have to go grab my files. And so you run back into the room. Nancy runs back into the room and grabs all of her stuff. And there is Dr. Travis in a white like trench coat and a Freddy sweater. And he like attacks you. And then when he comes back out, he's Freddy. And then that's when he runs into Dr. Travis and kills him. And then you guys want to know, but we ran out of time. Like that was the one thing that we cut that I just remember that right now. Oh my God.
I totally forgot about that, but you're right. We did have to cut some stuff because we just didn't have the capacity to do it.
We there was not even it wasn't the bandwidth. Like we just didn't have the energy. And I thank God for every person who was like a production assistant on this, because when it was me, you and Michelle who were so like ingrained in the filming, where we were like every scene, every single set of piece, we were like there. And we had like people like Kim and Anthony, and everybody was downstairs doing everything for us. Like the production people were amazing. Like we came down from the end of day shooting and everything was already cleaned and packed up in the trucks. And we're like, all we got to do is drive to the hotel. What are you talking about? Like, this is amazing. Like, thank you guys. Like, so it was a hard shoot, but it was a smooth shoot, I feel like.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Anthony says Monday is the 1-year anniversary of the premiere of Fred Heads. Holy moly.
Wow, it's been a year.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wow.
Time
flies.
I don't know if I did that right. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you guys so much for spending time with us, for watching our beloved little fan film, Don't Fall Asleep. Thank you guys for constantly, coming on the channel and sitting down and listening to me ramble or do whatever. Thank you so much to Paige for taking the time to come here and just give, because there's a 3-hour difference. So I'm here like, I'm gonna eat dinner, and Paige is probably like, I gotta go to bed. She has been up since early this morning. So thank you so much, Paige.
No, thank you for having me.
I
appreciate you, and I love what you're doing. I love what you guys are doing here. I appreciate you so much, and this was so much fun. And I mean, I appreciate you so much. And I love the content you guys are putting out. I love the creativeness of everything and the quality of everything. I just seeing you over the past 7 years, like what we started to like where you're at now, and like only just knowing how much further you're going to go. Like, it's just, I don't know, you're one of my closest friends, and you're like my little sister, and just being able to like see you grow and like blossom into this like powerhouse has been like the best reward for me, because I get to witness it. I get to witness all of this stuff and just be like, my best friend is a powerhouse. Like, I'm so proud of her. And this is kind of the start of where we're like, okay, this is it. We're going to start creating, and we're going to follow our passions, and we're going to really do it. And we're not going to let anybody get in our way.
Yeah. So what's next for you, Paige? It's on the horizon.
I don't know. There's a documentary that I want to do that we've been talking about for a little bit, on the back end of things that we've been planning. And then I really want us to I want to come back together. All of us do our own thing and everybody has projects and stuff going on. But I really want our team to like do a scary movie next year. I want to do a horror film. I want to tell a really good independent horror film. I want to get a little bit of a budget for it and just really showcase like what we can all do when we come back together. So for me right now, I'm just writing. We're on strike. Everybody's on strike. So there's not much we can do anyways. My documentary got put on pause because I can't interview them because they can't talk about the entity and property. But so I'm just writing. I'm writing right now. What are you doing? What's up next for you?
You know, we have this ongoing and there's so many other little projects that we want to do. I know Jason and I really have a lot of different movie ideas, from longer movies to fan films of our own to short films that we really want to make. So it's just a matter of, you know, figuring out what comes first and where we want to put things into the pipeline and go from there. It's just, there's so much you could do in this world, you guys. Go out there and carpe diem, seize the day. Absolutely. I'm going to put all of Paige's social handles in the description. You could find her as the Final Girl 13 on TikTok and pretty much anywhere. And lots of love to you, Paige. You are family.
Thank you so much.
And adore you so much. Adore all of you guys. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next week. Goodbye.